Has it ever happened to you that even if you've been trying to drink a lot of water during the day, perhaps 8 glasses or more, you still feel exhausted, your joints are stiff, and those irksome cramps still occur at night? If so, please know that you are not alone and that it is not your imagination. Very few people ever tell us this fact. Even if you drink liters of water every day, your muscles really start to lose their capacity to hold water around the age of 60. And the most unexpected aspect? How well your body uses water, particularly deep inside your muscle cells, is more of an issue than how much water you consume. Because, my friend, hydration is a tale of minerals rather than just water. Your muscles simply cannot draw water into the cells where it truly makes a difference if these small but mighty partners are not present. What is the outcome? Reduced muscle mass, a slower rate of recuperation from exercise, persistent low energy, and increased stress on your joints, kidneys, and heart. This explains why you might be dehydrated at the cellular level even if you drink water all day. Why, therefore, does this become so crucial after the age of 60? Because our muscles do more than merely enable us to move. They are the organ of lifespan and your body's metabolic engine. Muscles maintain brain health, burn fat, and control insulin. Up to 75% of healthy muscle tissue is made of water. However, the body loses its ability to absorb water and electrolytes as we age, particularly if you are taking certain drugs, have low stomach acid, or are suffering from insulin resistance. Therefore, simply drinking more water isn't the true answer. Optimizing intracellular hydration is the more sensible course of action. This entails delivering water to your muscles' deep cells rather than just your mouth and bladder. The good news is here. To help your body use that water to rehydrate your muscles, enhance recovery, avoid cramps, and maintain your vitality and lifespan, you may start taking extremely easy, nearly cost-free actions tomorrow morning. I'll begin with a query. Have you ever been advised to limit your intake of salt if you are older than 60? The majority of people have. For older persons, a low-sodium diet is practically the standard guideline. This is what is rarely explained, though. Sodium is not the only substance your body uses to regulate blood pressure. It hydrates your muscle cells with salt. Furthermore, eating too little salt does more than only detract from the flavor of your meal, especially as you age. In fact, you might be depriving your body of its ability to function. I'll tell you what's actually happening. Think of your muscles as little balloons. They require water inside of them to remain full, firm, and effective. And through a mechanism known as osmosis, sodium is one of the most crucial minerals that draws water into the cell. You can consume as much water as you like, but if you don't consume enough salt, the water will just remain outside the cell and be eliminated by your kidneys. This explains why, despite drinking a lot of water, so many people over 60 continue to experience dry skin, lethargy, cramps, and dizziness. This is where most folks are surprised. In fact, eating too little salt might cause muscle atrophy. Why? Because your body goes into emergency survival mode when your cells are chronically dehydrated. In an attempt to recycle the nutrients and amino acids within, it will break down your own muscle tissue. Weakness, decreased muscle mass, and impaired metabolic function result over time from this. We are not referring to the white table salt that has undergone extensive processing, to be clear. That kind frequently contains harmful anti-caking chemicals and has lost the majority of its trace minerals. Rather, I am referring to unprocessed natural salts such as Himalayan pink salt or Celtic sea salt. In addition to sodium chloride, they also contain potassium, magnesium, and over 60 other trace minerals that help maintain electrolyte balance and hydration. Your muscle cell can be compared to a dry sponge. Simple water simply runs off the surface. However, same sponge absorbs and retains water when a small amount of mineral salt is sprinkled on it. At the cellular level, salt accomplishes precisely that. What then must we do? At the end of this video, I'll provide you a basic protocol. But first, we must realize that salt is not an isolated agent. It needs its partners. We've all heard that we need more protein if we want to maintain or gain muscle after the age of 60. Indeed, protein is essential. Muscle fibers are rebuilt by amino acids, which are the building blocks. However, nobody tells you this. Your muscles can't use the protein efficiently if they don't have the proper electrolytes. Consider it this way. An electric car is similar to your muscles. Protein provides structure, like the frame and wheels. However, the wiring and batteries that actually make the car operate are potassium and magnesium. All you have without electrolytes is a pricey, immobile shell. What's actually going on within your body then? Electrical signals power the cells in your muscles, and only electrolytes are responsible for those signals. Your neural system gives your muscles an electrical impulse each time you move, lift anything, or even just get to your feet. And that contraction is made possible by potassium. Additionally, magnesium aids in the subsequent relaxation of your muscles. You may therefore feel weak or unsteady if you are deficient in potassium. You can experience cramps, spasms, or restless legs at night if your magnesium levels are low. Additionally, both are necessary to maintain the water content of your muscle cells. This is the issue. Most elderly persons have serious potassium and magnesium deficiencies after the age of 60. The CDC reports that more than 98% of Americans do not get enough potassium each day. Due to decreased appetite and kidney function, the disparity is much more pronounced in older persons. Magnesium shortage is also very prevalent, particularly if you're on some acid reflux or diuretics. Protein is therefore crucial, but it's not the complete picture. You won't fully profit from a nutritious food if your muscles lack the mineral spark they require. Recall that whereas electrolytes turn on the power switch, proteins create the structure. Additionally, there's another unspoken element that can be compromising all of your hydration efforts. You've only heard half the story if you've been informed that insulin is solely related to blood sugar, because most individuals, including many doctors, are unaware of this. Insulin also regulates your body's potassium and salt balance. Additionally, your muscle hydration subtly begins to degrade when insulin stops functioning properly, which is fairly frequent beyond the age of 60. Insulin does more than only transport sugar into cells when it functions properly. Additionally, it transports potassium into your muscle cells, where it causes contractions and retains water, and aids in your kidney's retention of sodium. However, this entire system is upset by insulin resistance, which affects more than half of adults over 60. Think of your muscle cell as a balloon that requires potassium to be full. Insulin pushes potassium in like a pump. However, that pump becomes jammed when you have insulin resistance. The muscle cell begins to shrink because potassium remains outside and water cannot follow it in. What is the outcome? Even with a healthy diet and enough of water, your muscles get weak and dehydrated. More fluid loss results from your kidneys discharging more salt. Additionally, your body begins retaining water in areas other than your muscles, such as your face, tummy, or ankles. This explains why cramps, weakness, and poor recovery are common in persons over 60. Their cells are unable to fully hydrate because of inadequate insulin signaling, not because they aren't trying. You can make this better, which is fantastic news. Restoring insulin sensitivity begins with making adjustments like cutting back on sugar and refined carbohydrates and consuming apple cider vinegar before meals. After you resolve this underlying problem, your hydration system returns to normal. One final, unnoticed gatekeeper can be impeding all of your attempts to stay hydrated. Suppose you're drinking enough water and adding the appropriate minerals, but you're still not experiencing any advantages. Why? Because what your body is unable to absorb may be the issue, rather than what you're drinking. And this leads us to one of the most underappreciated reasons why older persons have low stomach acid and inadequate hydration. Your body naturally produces less stomach hydrochloric acid after the age of 60. Additionally, that acid is essential for the activation and absorption of minerals including potassium, calcium, and magnesium, as well as for food digestion. These minerals are primarily excreted and cannot be absorbed in the absence of sufficient acid. Even worse, a lot of us use acid-blocking drugs to treat reflux, which exacerbates the issue. Additionally, insufficient stomach acid results in poor digestion of proteins, which causes weakness and muscle loss more quickly and recovering from activities more slowly. Consider your stomach to be the gatekeeper. No matter how many beneficial minerals you consume, they won't be able to pass through the gate if it's broken or your acid is too low. How can we resolve this then? A straightforward method is to add a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice or apple cider vinegar mixed with water around 10 minutes prior to meals. This can promote digestion, enhance mineral absorption, and naturally increase the formation of stomach acid. Now, let's dispel a frequent misconception before I offer you the straightforward protocol. It's likely that you've heard the recommendation to consume 8 glasses of water daily. Actually, though, that isn't a strict requirement. Your amount of activity, the climate, and your health all affect how much water you require. Additionally, the things we eat, particularly fruits and vegetables, provide us with water. Checking the color of your urine is a better way to keep track than counting glasses. It's pale yellow, which means you're doing very well. It indicates that you need more fluids if it's darker. Smart hydration, not just increased hydration, is the key. As promised, here is a basic procedure that you can begin tomorrow morning. Hydration in the morning. Protocol. Everything can be changed with a single, easy step. Your body naturally becomes dehydrated after a long night of 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Through perspiration and breathing, you have lost water. More significantly, though, you have also lost electrolytes. The secret is right here. Drinking a large glass of plain water first thing in the morning can actually exacerbate electrolyte deficiency by further diluting your minerals. Therefore, we wish to prime the system. In that first glass of the day, we want to provide your body with the proper combination of minerals to stimulate your metabolism, replenish your muscles, and increase your energy levels for the rest of the day. This is what I refer to as the morning hydration regimen. It's also pretty easy. Start tomorrow morning with a large glass of filtered water, approximately 16 to 20 ounces, or 470 to 590 milliliters, before breakfast or coffee. Add a quarter teaspoon of unrefined sea salt to that water. The best is Himalayan or Celtic pink. This helps draw water into your cells by supplying salt and trace minerals. A teaspoon of apple cider vinegar or a squeeze of fresh lemon juice for taste, and to add a little acidity to aid in the minerals' better absorption in your stomach. There. Additionally, a tiny pinch of potassium citrate or chloride, if at all possible. These are available as powder. To begin, just a pinch, roughly 1/8 teaspoon, is plenty. Significant. Before taking potassium, please check with your doctor if you are taking any blood pressure or heart drugs, particularly ACE inhibitors or diuretics. Stir thoroughly, then take a drink over 10 to 20 minutes. Don't take it all at once. Allow your digestive system to softly begin the day and allow yourself time to absorb the minerals. This straightforward procedure aids in cellular hydration restoration, which means that rather than allowing water to flow through your body, your muscles, neurons, and cells actually draw it in and retain it. Here, consistency is crucial. You'll probably have reduced stiffness in your joints, more regular bowel movements, improved energy and alertness, and less leg cramps if you do this every morning for just a week. Because you're addressing hydration at the cell level, this is one of the quickest and easiest methods to enhance the way your muscles feel and work without the need for medication or exercise. We've all been taught that drinking more water is the only way to stay hydrated. However, you now realize that proper hydration involves delivering water to your cells, particularly to your muscle tissue, where it promotes healthy aging, burns fat, and gives you energy. Let's review the main conclusions. Salt that is rich in minerals is necessary. Magnesium and potassium are essential. Low stomach acid and insulin resistance can subtly undermine your efforts. Most significantly, well-hydrated muscles safeguard your longevity, balance, and metabolism. Hydration and general health are therefore inextricably linked. Your muscular tissue is the currency, and they are both sides of the same coin. Here's what you need to do next. Try the morning hydration regimen tomorrow morning. Start with lemon water and sea salt. Observe your feelings over a period of days rather than just immediately. Take note of if you have more energy, a clearer head, or a reduction in those recalcitrant cramps. Because your muscles get stronger and your metabolism functions more in your favor rather than against you when your cells are more hydrated. Also, keep in mind that you are still young. No time is ever too late. All you have to do is begin to support your body as it actually functions. If you found this material useful, please hit like and tell your loved ones about the video so that you and they can naturally improve your energy and metabolism as well as your longevity and general health. You don't realize how intelligent your body is. To enable it to perform its intended function, provide it with the necessities. I appreciate you listening.